Chapter 12.5. Simone Bernhardt, the older sister, married an Englishman, and Louisiane lived on with great. The bond between the two was tender and lasting. Even when she was away on tour, Sarah, who seldom answered a social note, wrote her frequently. Excerpts out of a letter written from America to Louisiane, who was traveling in Italy with a chaperone, are characteristic. My Louisiane, I am happy to think of you in lovely sunshine, and above all, in that atmosphere of beauty which pervades all Italy. I regret on not being the one to lift the mysterious veil of infinite beauty. Take in much with your grave eyes, with your spirit, and hold on to it. For it is in the light of beauty that the soul bathes, and bathes again ever. Take care not to catch cold in the churches and museums. Keep your fur piece about your neck. Evenings on your friend's little balcony, watch the sunsets. They must be magnificent. Sketch a bit of what you see in that garden of poetry. Look at this great screen of black cypresses. Look down on the little pond so ancient and charming. My stay here has been admirable. Never have I had more triumphal success. I think often of your father. A view of your home, and my heart goes out with a bound to you all. I think, too, of my little ragamuffin so far away, and tears come to my eyes. Think of your great, who loves you and who waits with impatience for the moment when you spring onto her bed with a lusty bonjour. That will be for Belle Isle. I hold you to my heart. Great. In their zeal to chronicle the eccentric Bernhardt legend, biographers are prone to gloss over her human side. After her death, the London critic A.B. Walkley wrote in the Times, Madame Bernhardt, as I knew her off stage, showed no caprice. She struck me as a sensible, shrewd, kind-hearted woman with a keen sense of humor and modest for all her fame. To be sure, certain obvious gestures of kindness, such as her daily presentation of a coin to the corner street sweeper, may have been a calculated act, but her consideration for small tradesmen, some of whom she continued to patronize out of sheer charity, was not for the benefit of any public. The local storekeepers loved and respected her. When she gave up painting, the owner of her art supply shop said sadly, "It's not her clientele I'll miss. It's shaking her hand." She could be sincerely solicitous over employees. Once, when a stagehand was badly injured by a falling piece of scenery, and a doctor was unavailable until morning, she stayed up all night in the theater taking care of the man and tending to his wounds with the skill she'd acquired in 1870. One day at a dress rehearsal, she noticed a child who was playing an extra, limping painfully, and paused to ask him what was the matter. The small boy tearfully replied that one of the new shoes allotted him by the wardrobe mistress was stiff and hurt his foot. Sarah ordered him to take it off, and she held up rehearsal a good 15 minutes while she bent and worked the offending shoe until it was comfortable. People were continually coming to her for help. Former retainers, down-and-out actors, friends who were on their uppers, and they seldom went away empty-handed. She was indulgently accessible to relatives. Sue's Rueff was in her dressing room after a minute when a doddering Dutch woman, some distant cousin, came in to prattle interminably about family connections that Sarah didn't remotely remember. When at long last she rose to leave, she looked about at the profusion of flowers and asked if she might just have one rose as a souvenir. Sarah, in relief of getting rid of her, cried, "Take the lot," piled a massive load onto her outstretched arms, and sent her on her staggering way, gibbering ecstatic thanks. When the old girl was out of earshot, Sarah said, "She'll sell the whole lot by nightfall." With age, she was becoming more conscientious about promises made. Prior to a London engagement, she had promised the Duchess of Newcastle she'd recite on a certain afternoon at a benefit for a children's hospital. Her London manager, unbeknownst to her, had booked a matinee in Wimbledon for the same date, and the house was already sold out. A friend reminded her about her commitment to the Duchess of Newcastle, and without a qualm, she canceled the Wimbledon date, although it would have meant big money to her. In the London season of 1910, she appeared for the first time in a music hall at the Coliseum, playing short scenes from her repertory, and the public flocked to see her. Her English following, loyal as ever, applauded, tossed bouquets, stood outside stage door or hotel entrance to watch her comings and goings. She was still regarded in a magic light as a creature from another world. One contemporary writer, watching her driving in a Victoria past Hyde Park Corner, noted, as she leaned back in the cottage, extravagantly pale, with lamp black, inch-thick hair, an inch thick under her eyes and on her eyelids, she looked lovelier than the forest beauty of the season. Lovelier than the fairest beauty of the season. Sorry, I gotta zone it in. As she leaned back in the carriage, extravagantly pale and with lamp black an inch thick under her eyes and on her eyelids, she looked lovelier than the fairest beauty of the season. She took you into a world where fresh senses were accorded. Did one love this woman? Yes, but as that passion may be conceived on some other planet, when one felt began with admiration and ended there. One desired her just as much and just as little as one desires Cleopatra or Helen of Troy. By 1910, the gentlemen of the London press had become less loyally devoted than Bernhardt's public. They accused her of becoming stale and overmannered. One critic said that she gave the impression of burlesquing herself, and another said she is no longer an artist but an international institution. Eleonora Duse, with her profound simplicity, was coming to the top. The Italian woman's lack of any guile, along with her lack of any makeup and overacting her underacting, came as refreshing relief after the French woman's brilliant virtuosity. Bernard Shaw, as we know, was never able to take the latter seriously. Speaking at the Malvern Festival in 1938, he said, "I could never, as a dramatic critic, be fair to Sarah Bernhardt because she was exactly like my Aunt Georgina. But I could not say this at the time because my Aunt Georgina was alive." Octave Mirbeau, who was known for being an outspoken man, once asked Madame Sarah point blank at what age she intended to give up love. Okay, sorry, I tripped all over that one. I'm going to do it again. Octave Mirbeau, who was known for being an outspoken man, once asked Madame Sarah point blank at what age she intended to give up love. "With my dying breath," she answered. "I intend to live as I have always lived." And not long after making this statement, she proved that she meant what she said. In the early autumn of 1910, she set forth on her second farewell American tour, with an old repertory and a new member of her company, who was to become her leading man for 3 years. This was Lou Tellegen, a young man born in Holland of Greek-Dutch parents. His body was a flawless specimen of male beauty. I was powerfully built. Where was that? Hold on. Dang, I lost it. Quite empty. This was Lou Tellegen, a young man born in Holland